guys, welcome to another episode of Education Through Experience. Here I have another guest with us. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm James here from Fort Worth, Texas.
And how old are you?
I am 37 years old.
Okay. And how long have you been on testosterone?
I started testosterone in April 22nd, 2014.
Okay, wow. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And then how long before that did you actually come out as trans or you knew you were trans?
So I wasn't sure at first. I just knew something was off. I didn't
Mhm.
find anywhere to fit in. So I started seeing my therapist, who is also trans,
Okay.
here in Dallas, and I went to her for about a year and a half before I figured out like this is something that I had been missing.
Okay.
So
So did you purposely find like a trans therapist? It just happened.
yeah, it was kind of an accident. It was
Um,
a very beautiful accident.
yeah,
So
right. Nice.
yeah.
And how was it coming out to your family or people around you?
So my mom, she took it good.
Okay.
She knew before I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I told her I was like, I wanted to sit down and talk to you over dinner. And before I can get anything out, she handed me her phone over a conversation that her and my sister were having. And she was like, I wonder if she is saying he wants to be a boy. It's like,
So she was telling you.
yeah, yeah, I didn't really have to tell her. So
That's awesome. I like that. I haven't heard
yeah,
that. Everyone I've talked to, like, oh, my mom was so surprised, or oh, she didn't take it well, but she took it
my
well.
mom
She
knew.
already knew.
Yeah, she knew. She knew before I did.
Nice. So it must have been quite easy for her to, adjust to the pronouns or like a name change.
Yeah, so she tried really hard, everybody they slip.
Right.
She spent 28 years calling me her daughter. So, I had to give her just as much grace as she had to give me.
Right, right.
So it was pretty easy.
That's good. And then at the time that you started getting your testosterone, were you in Texas?
I was.
Was it hard for you to get your prescription being in Texas?
No, not up until recently.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty. I went to an endocrinologist here in Dallas, and they specialize in transgender therapy. So
Okay.
pretty easy.
So are you having issues now?
I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit?
So the doctor I went to here close to me, he's just like a general doctor.
Mhm.
Uh, he's starting this new practice over, which isn't necessarily supportive of the trans community. And however he was before, like he stopped giving my friend his tea because he hasn't had top surgery yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because of that, I kind of distanced myself from him. I don't think that you should have to have any kind of surgery to get the
Right,
hormone replacement.
right, right.
So
Wow. So now you're in search for like a new doctor?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's this stuff online called Folks. I've been looking into that. Everybody has said good things about that. They send it to you. All
Oh,
you
wow.
got to do is send in your blood work. So
Oh, wow. That's cool.
mhm.
Have you seen the pricing for that?
Yeah, it's I think for the gel it's $120 monthly, and then for the shot it's 89 and up, depending on your dose, what you want.
Okay, that's interesting. And that
Yeah,
doesn't seem too bad of a price, not using insurance.
it's not, but people who don't have insurance, that's a great price.
Right,
People who do have insurance, you can go and get the vials that'll last you 6 months, and
right,
it's $15.
right, right.
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Right.
So
Sure. Well, that is definitely a good alternative. Have you only used injections or are you doing injections?
I am doing injections. I've thought about going to gel, but then I worry about, it transferring to my partner or
Right.
whoever. And then I've been looking into the injections, the pellets.
Oh, okay.
I don't like I don't like the thought of it, but it seems
Yeah.
a lot easier.
Yeah, less often.
Yes, a lot less often.
It does sound a little like invasive though. Like I've talked to a guy who had pellets and he said it was rough.
That's what I've heard. They're like, well, you can feel it, and then
Yeah.
I don't think I'm all right with all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you sensitive when it comes to your shot or have you gotten used to it?
I've not gotten used to it.
No, after all this
No,
time.
it's like a whole ass process for
Yeah,
me. So
yeah,
I'll turn on the shower, turn on some music, and I'm like, hey, you got this. Got to talk myself through it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
get tattoos easy, but I don't like needles.
for sure. Is it
Yeah.
the pain or just like the phobia with the needles?
I don't even really feel it.
Okay.
After each shot, 9 years, I'm like, it wasn't that bad. And then
Yeah,
next week comes, I'm like, oh, no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You get anxiety like when it
Yeah.
comes down to it. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I feel the same way, but for me, it's just like sometimes it hurts, so I have to like normally like I'll feel so I do it on my stomach. And so for me, if I feel that my stomach is warm, I know that it's gonna hurt more. So I just get like an ice cube and I kind of like rub it on it. And then once my skin is on the cooler side, it doesn't hurt at all.
So you don't have to do the IM injections.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't.
So do you do it like in your leg?
Yeah, so I'll do my arms and then my
Oh,
thighs. I try to rotate it out
oh
after,
wow.
yeah, after taking tea. I used to be able to like turn around and get the sweet spot
Yeah.
back there, but I can't turn around and stab myself in my butt cheek anymore.
Yeah.
So I was just not
Yeah.
enough.
You're putting that in your arm. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I can see why you're hesitant.
just not fun.
Yeah.
Worth it, not fun.
Yeah. And then you didn't have a choice, I assume. The doctor just said that these are the ones, this is how you're doing it.
Yeah,
Okay. It's
yeah.
interesting to me how different doctors have different like ways of doing it, you know. So I wonder if there's any like um pros or cons to doing either, or is it just like the same? You're just gonna get it in your system, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that is. I would like the fact of the non-IM shots because you're doing it in your arm, and then all of a sudden your muscle starts twitching, and
Mm,
it's really uncomfortable. You're like, well, do I go further? Do I pull out a little bit?
right, right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, and luckily for me, we use the insulin needles, so they're like super small.
that's got to be nice.
Yeah.
I think mine's a 22, and it's probably a little about the size of my pinky, like
Oh wow.
guys.
Oh wow. And
Yeah,
I assume it's thicker too, of course.
yeah.
Yeah. What was the first change you noticed on testosterone?
The shoulders, my shoulders expanded a little bit and got pretty sore. And then the next thing, I felt like I had strep throat for about 3 months.
Yeah, yeah, that was the same for me. Like I feel like I got whiter, like in my shoulders and my face a little bit. Yeah, and
Yeah,
definitely I felt like I had a cold, but it wasn't a
yeah.
cold.
No, it wasn't cold. But it was cool. Like I'd go in the mirror and I'd look, like, is it there?
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I think the first patch of hair that I got, it was not on my face. It was right back there where I was doing my initial injections. It's a
Oh
nice
yeah.
sized patch of hair. It's like anywhere else other than there.
Yeah, I feel like the facial hair definitely came last. Like, my legs started growing hair where there wasn't hair before. And then where there was hair, it was just like hair growing on hair, you know. But then
Yeah.
I think it took me like 2 years to start getting like thickness in my beard. What about you? How long did it take for you to get a beard?
So I want to say within the first, it was about less than a year, I got the two awkward little patches right here with nothing in the middle,
Yeah,
nothing else on the
yeah,
sides.
yeah.
So I tried to shave it. I'd say probably a year and a half, all this started to finally start coming in.
Nice. Did you ever use any
So,
like oils or any like growth stuff?
no, my skin is too sensitive.
Oh,
So
okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried the little roller thing that has the needles on it
Mhm.
to help, but it didn't do anything.
Uh,
So
I think you have to pair it with the oils.
yeah, they're like just rub it in there and it'll open your skin up, allow the
Yeah.
hair to go out. It just hurt. So
Yeah, it does hurt. It's like little needles.
yeah, yeah.
Are you in a relationship now, or has being trans affected any relationships in your past?
So whenever I decided to um tell my now ex-wife, she was okay. Like that was my high school sweetheart. We were together for 14 years.
Oh wow.
She supported me through it. I was there. She fought for me for my surgery. It was just awesome. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and we separated about 7 years ago. And then I was with someone for about 3 years after that. But it's hard dating for me, at least, in the trans community because either people here, they're like, well, I'm a lesbian. I'm going to give you a shot. But then
Yeah.
a couple years later, they're like, well, no, I miss laying next to a woman.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I can't fault them for that, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So I've been single the last 2 years. I'm a little intimidated, not sure what pool I need to be in,
Hmm.
really. Um, I just I get hit on by a lot of straight women
Yeah.
who don't know, or a lot of gay men, and that's I gotta tell the ladies like, hey, I call it the downstairs mix up because like I've not had bottom surgery, so I'm like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. That's definitely an issue, or it can be an issue.
yeah.
Yeah. So have you came to an instance where, you like someone and then you've had to tell them that that you don't have the bottom surgery yet? Like at what point do you do that? How long do you wait?
I get it out the way immediately, just so it's they can trust me. I'm not leading anybody on,
Right, right, yeah.
but I've not had any negative experience. Like if I tell somebody, they're still very interested. So
That's
I've
good.
been I've been lucky so far.
That's good. And do you plan on having bottom surgery?
I've looked into it a few times. There's a couple of things that I'm scared of. You
Mm,
know, the loss of sensation,
yeah.
stuff going wrong.
Yeah. The
It's
list
not
of
100.
complications are like so long.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it's not 100% perfected yet, and I'm scared to. I enjoy being intimate with somebody, and I don't want anything to take that away.
right. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, just the healing process alone does that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
especially if you're with someone, that's months that you have to go without doing anything.
yeah. I was told that it could be up to like 6 months before you can,
Yeah.
after the final stage, before you can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a long time.
No, for sure. I mean, like during the stages, right? So like after the first stage, like before you get the implants, they say like, oh, like 8 weeks is about good, right? But then it's like, okay, well, you can't go hard. So it's like even though you can, it's like you can't because it's like doesn't work as well. You know what I mean? You have to like
Yeah,
find alternatives to make it work. But yeah, if you don't do anything, then yeah, it's definitely a long time.
yeah. So I've looked into both options. Well, I'm sure there's more than two, but I've looked into the meta and then the fallow, but I just don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, it
right
definitely.
now, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for those two, they're very different. So it
Yeah.
kind of comes down to, what do you prefer? Like, do you want the length? Do you want to stand to pee? Do you want to be able to have penetrative sex? Like those things definitely make the decision for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole stand P thing is my draw to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I got lucky. I've had a lot of good natural self growth to where
Okay.
I can have the penetrative sex, but the whole being comfortable in the stall,
Yeah.
that's a different story for me.
Yeah. For sure. Well, I think too, like with metoidoplasty, if you already had a lot of growth, because for that one they don't really make anything, right? They just make what you have bigger or like
Yeah.
thicker. So if you already have a lot of bottom growth, I assume that being able to stand to pee is more in your favor because you can get urethral lengthening with that. It's just sometimes you can't depending on your size.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds like it's gonna be in your favor. So you've had top surgery,
Yes.
okay? And who was your doctor?
Dr. Alan Doolin in Plano,
Okay,
he's amazing.
yeah, you liked them.
Yes, they don't do the drains.
Okay.
They do like a double incision, so in and out. And man, I healed perfectly. I didn't have any complications.
Oh, well,
And
nice.
yeah, and he's really good in price range. I think I paid 6,000 for mine
Oh, and that's without insurance.
and without insurance.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
got
is that in Texas?
yeah,
Okay, so it's local to you.
yeah.
Nice. And what was the hardest part about your recovery?
Sleeping, trying to find yeah, because I'm a side sleeper, and they told me
Oh
I
yeah.
couldn't sleep on my side. So,
Oh yeah, me too.
but I mean, everything else was great.
Did you have to wear one of those like compression binders for like 2 weeks after?
Yeah, so I had like I don't know if they really were, but it looked like maxi pads on my on my chest,
Yeah.
and then one of the compression binders that zipped up in the front.
Yeah.
But
That's
I mean, at that point, I was used to it because I always had a binder on,
right.
anyways.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Do you still have any dysphoria from your top surgery?
No, um, I went back to work too soon, so I did stretch the scars a little bit towards the center of my chest, but it's not that noticeable. I
Oh,
can notice it,
right.
but I mean, I'm happy.
That's
So
good. That's good.
yeah,
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
yeah,
Yeah, for me, I ended up going back twice because the first time my scars stretched a lot, so I was trying to like get that fixed. But I think that's just how my scars heal in general, like pretty thick. Because the second time happened the same way. I was like, I can't just
really.
keep going back and getting the same thing done.
Yeah,
Because for my phalloplasty, they have if you can see right here, they take part of your vein from your arm. So this is like a scar going all the way up. But like right, this part of my arm, you don't really stretch. Like you don't be stretching it like this. So I don't understand how this got thick as well. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think it's just the way my scars heal.
So you're healing and everything. Are you done with all of your stages? Like surgery's done?
I haven't had the implants yet. So
Yeah.
I had phalloplasty last April, so April of last year, 2022. I had some complications that led me to having two urethroplasties. Basically, he had to go in and like redo my urethra. So I'm actually 2 months healed from my last stage, which I had in April. I'm sorry, I had in March of this year. So I'm finally like 100% healed from all of that. So right now I'm kind of figuring out if I want implants and if I do, which ones that would be.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been a long year.
I can imagine.
Yeah, let's see. Do you have any interesting stories or experiences that you've had related to being trans?
You know, I don't. I kind of live under the radar.
Okay.
I've had a couple of friends who've had some really bad experiences,
Mhm.
and I don't like to say necessarily that I live on the safe side, but where I'm at, I do. I've got a guy down the street who's a preacher. He was on the news recently saying that all gays and trans need to be knelt down, lined up, and executed.
Oh
So
wow.
where I'm at, it's kind of you live your life kind of quietly.
Yeah, wow, for sure.
Yeah,
So when you started transitioning, were you working at the time?
I was.
So how was that for you?
I was at that company for 13 years. So whenever I started, everybody that I worked with was really supportive.
Okay.
And then we got a new boss who was not. So I just transferred to a different store and stayed there for a little bit. But my job now, my boss knows, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I know that's hard for a lot of people. Because I,
Yeah.
I was I was working at that time for a company for I think like a year and a half before I started to transition, and my job it was my job to like go to different like stores, so I had like a route, right? So not only did I just know like the people I worked for, but people were seeing me every week, hundreds of people. So it was definitely hard for me because um I had to come in contact with a lot of people. So once I started like changing, it was like confusing for so many people. It's
Yeah.
like, and I didn't tell them, because I didn't feel the need to tell them. But yeah, that was definitely hard. Getting like misgendered
I've had
all the
a
ways,
really hellish experience with a police officer one time, and it was not all right.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that was pulled me out of my car because I hadn't changed my driver's license yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he pulled me out and I showed him my driver's license versus what I look like. And he was saying that I'm showing him a false ID. And I was like, why would I hand you a woman's ID and claim, it's me?
Right.
And so he had me, before I had surgery, had me lift up my shirt to show him my binder. He had to contact my then wife and still tried to arrest me. I was like, listen, my guy, I don't know what else to tell you. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it was scary.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's not okay.
No,
Well, I'm glad you didn't get arrested.
shit, me too, because that would have been awkward.
Yeah, especially going inside the jail.
Yeah, like, uh-uh. I wonder where they would have put me had I gone in though.
Yeah,
'Cause
I was
I know they
thinking that.
separate you.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, I don't know. If he's going based on your ID, then
Talk about making people feel uncomfortable.
yeah. Have you ever had any instances like in the bathroom, like when you first started transitioning, like whether you were still in the women's but looking more like a man, or like you started going to the men's but felt uncomfortable?
No, the only no, I've been lucky. The only time I think I've ever felt uncomfortable in the bathroom was when I was at the movies with my family.
Hmm.
They knew, and I tried to sneak out by myself, and then I'm trying to go to the bathroom, and then here comes my stepdad and stands right next to me. I was like, no,
Yeah.
this is how it's gonna happen. So I just walked right back out, and I went and told my mom. I was like, get your husband.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard that. Like you're anxious or nervous, but someone that you know what I mean?
Hands right next to you. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know really what to do with that.
I'm still getting over the nervousness of peeing next to somebody and they're just like right there. Like I'm still getting over that.
Yeah, if there's a lot of people in the bathroom, I'll go into the stall.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Do you use like a packer or a stand to pee?
I normally use the STP. There's a couple that I really like. I like
Okay.
Freedom, and then there's this new one, Skins.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It's great. It's 100% like leak proof and
Oh
everything. It's
wow.
cheap, great, and it looks very real.
And is that one of the ones that you have to wear a harness, or are those the ones that's like an actual like prosthetic that can like attach to you?
No, you got to wear a harness.
Okay.
My skin is sensitive, so the ones that have the adhesive, I wouldn't be able to pull that off.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good though. That is working for you. A lot of the guys I talk to, they can't use the centipedes. They said, they don't fit right, or they just end up peeing on themselves.
that's I was having the same issue. I tried the Peacock one, and then I can't remember the other brand, but this one, I mean, you really have to be working really hard to have that overflow happen, like doing the splits while trying to go to the bathroom
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Like it's built to fit your parts.
Okay.
So
And which one is that you said works really good?
trans skins.
Skins. Okay. Yeah, I think I used the Peacock one and it was all right. But I liked it because it had that little insert that can make it hard.
Yeah.
Does yours
Yeah.
do that too?
No, not this one. It's strictly the STP.
Okay.
But I don't think I found one that's better, more realistic than this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me? I think you answered all of my questions.
Man, I do. I have some questions about your surgery. Like,
Go
I'm sorry.
ahead.
Stop. Um, my dog has got a lot of stuff to say too,
Yeah, he has
apparently.
questions too.
Yeah, he does. Um, so with cost wise, for each stage, how was that for you?
So for my first stage, so the first stage I had the scrotoplasty, the vaginectomy, the urethral lengthening, the glandulosplasty, basically everything except for the implants. For that one, I was under my dad's insurance at the time. So I paid nothing. It was free, like 100%. So yeah, so yeah. But I called them because I wanted to know how much it would have been, right? Because for like my videos, I like to give information. So I called them and they said that the bill was like over $200,000. Yeah. And most people they would have had to like, pay a copay or pay the deductible out of pocket maximum. But luckily for me, I had good insurance. But for my stage one urethroplasty, I was on my own insurance. Again, I still had good coverage. But I only had to pay the copay, which was like $500. and that surgery was like 70,000, I think. Yeah. And then the stage two, I'm actually having issues with it getting covered right now because my doctor actually like moved different cities. So I had to like go out of network for him, but I ended up trying to get like a continuation of care. So currently I owe like $45,000 for that, but it should have been just the $500 copay. So I'm kind of still battling that, but yeah, hopefully it's just the $500 copay. Like,
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah,
And that's awesome.
yeah. No, I'm very fortunate to have had good insurance throughout all of this.
Would you use Blue Cross?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. That's who I've currently had. I'm just so back and forth with it, man. I'm scared to have to take off work. So
yeah.
pain level through your healing process, was it pretty okay or
Yeah, surprisingly, I would think that the actual like penis area or like where the vaginectomy was would be the most painful. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong. But for me, the most painful part was where they took the skin from my arm.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of my pictures or videos that I posted, but it was literally like down to the bone. So it just hurt so bad. I mean, just like the air touching it, it felt like my arm was broken. And them taking, so I had a wound vac on, like sucking out all the blood and stuff for like the first 2 weeks. And when he took it off, I was like crying. Like he had cut my skin, trying to get it off. It was horrible. So that was the most painful part. Um, yeah, I mean, and they do give you like medicine. So like in the hospital, you have to be there for at least 5 days, and then depending on how you heal, it can go higher or lower. So I was on like IV Dilaudid, IV like fentanyl that whole time, right? So I was cool in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then at home they give you Norcos, but for me, it makes me constipated, so I try not to use them. Um, so like regular Tylenol and stuff definitely helped with the pain in like penis area and everything. But for my arm, I definitely needed the Norco. Like even just changing the gauze and the bandages, I needed the Norco for that. It was rough.
I've noticed a lot of people do it with their arm.
Mhm.
I've seen some that are the leg and I want to say their back.
Yeah. I think the back is one of the new ways to do it. I know a lot of doctors don't do it yet. One guy I just talked to, he said that he had to go to Serbia to get the back one. Yeah.
So sensation and everything for you, you still like 100% or did it gain or lose?
So they say it could take several years to get like full sensation. For me, I would say right now I'm about like 70% in the year, but I don't know if that's less or more because I had the two other surgeries that may have like, paused it or, anything
Yeah.
like that. So I would say I'm about 70%. I can feel throughout. So like from the shaft to like the left side and the tip, the front, the back, but then some of the right side I still don't feel yet. And then I can't tell like hot or cold temperature or anything like textures or water. I can't tell like any difference in texture, just touch. So I can just tell that something's touching me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say 70%. And it can take more time. I've heard like maybe 2 or 3 years to allow for the nerves to regrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it though, right? Like
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I'd
just
wait 2 or 3 years.
yeah.
So,
No, just being able to like stand to pee. That's like using the urinal. That's like there, right? If it just stopped right there, it'd be worth it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely worth it. Even with the complications I had, I would say I would do it again.
So who was your doctor?
I had Dr. Michael Safer. At the time, my first surgery, he was with the Crane Center in San Francisco, but he has now moved to Los Angeles and he's with Align Surgical.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, that's
he's
cool.
pretty good, and I would totally recommend him. Like he's so personable. Like he gives out his phone number, so you can literally call his phone at 2 in the morning, and he'll text you back, call you back.
So it's a good doctor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I love him. That's why
man.
that's why I continued to see him. Even though now I had to travel to LA, I hands down 100%
Yeah, I mean, where you're comfortable is where you go. I
for
mean,
sure.
it's especially if somebody's doing it like that for you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Even like with the whole like, oh, now you're out of network thing, he was like, dude, like it's good. Like we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, a general. Did you get to pick your size and all that?
Yeah, so that also kind of plays a part of which one you're getting, right? So
Yeah.
obviously your arm, there's less area than is like if you're using your leg, for instance. But basically, they measure from your wrist, down to your elbow, and they basically say, okay, we can get you like a good 6 inches from that. Which size do you want? Obviously your leg, you could probably get more than that if that's what you like. I definitely probably wouldn't recommend going anything more than 6 because I was like, I'm cool with 5.5, right? Like that's decent. Um, I ended up with like 6.5 and like 6 inches in girth. So it's like a lot. It's a lot. But what you don't realize is, or maybe you do realize, you just don't really necessarily know until it happens, is right. It's like that size is always there. So it's like
Yeah.
it's always there. It's so sometimes it's like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You have to make sure you get pants that have like big crotch areas, or else it's gonna be like down the leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of guys get ahead of themselves. Oh, I want 8 inches. No, you don't. You don't.
No.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I don't want to walk around feeling like I have issues down there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sporting a
Yeah.
chub or anything. Like if it
Right.
just gets in, that's great.
Yeah. No, it definitely. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah, I might have to dig more into it. I've been nervous. I'm still not sure, but I get I'm cool, and then every other day I'm like, man, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm definitely happy that I did it. Um, and I'm happy about the time that I chose to do it. Right? Because like for me, I'm 25, so I'm still young. Um, I couldn't imagine going through this with having a child, like especially
Yeah.
with the complications of like having to go to the hospital and having another surgery. Like there's no way that I would have wanted to do that while having kids. So I'm happy that I'm past the hump, I hopefully after my stage 2 surgery, everything is gonna be good for now. So far it's good. I was having issues peeing. That was the complication that I had.
I've
Um,
heard that a lot.
yeah, my urethra narrowed, and I kept getting diagnosed with a UTI every time I went to the urgent care. So they would just send me home with medication for the UTI. And then at some point it like completely closed and I couldn't pee at all. So I ended up with like sepsis. So I
Wow.
well, I didn't know, right? I went to the hospital. Um, and then yeah, basically they told me I had sepsis. So I had to be there for like 5 days, and then they had to give me an emergency catheter so I could let the pee out because I didn't urinate for like a day, like a whole day.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough.
And
And that's
so
that's like I would say probably I think the main complication they tell you is, the issues with the urethra because they're adding so much length to it that it could cause issues. And then two, right, where they hook it up to where your, previous urethra ends, when the scar heals or the stitches heal, sometimes they get thick and causing that, which causes the narrowness.
yeah,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to open the door to dating somebody. That way they can come take care of me because I don't see my kids want to take care of me like that. So
Oh yeah, like I'm definitely 100% grateful for so at that time, right, I was just dating someone, like we were dating for like 2 months, bro, and she took care of me, and she's now my fiance. But like at 2 months, like you're like giving your whole life to take care of me. Like it was ridiculous. So I'm definitely I
that's
couldn't have done
awesome.
it. I couldn't have done it without her. Like she was like helping me go to the bathroom. She like cleaned my wounds. Yeah, it was awesome.
You
She
got you a winner.
Yeah, she was emptying my catheter bag in the hospital because the nurses weren't doing it. You know what I mean? So you definitely have to you definitely have to have someone.
Yeah, 100%. Man, that's cool, dude.
Find yourself a nurse, maybe.
Well, God, I couldn't imagine. I'm a very independent person, so having somebody helping me, especially with that, I
Oh,
mean, I feel like it'd be a very intimate situation.
yeah.
It's
And it was rough too, because I'm the same way. Like I want to, like I don't. I don't want you to put my socks on. Like, I want to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But, like, you can't for a long time. You need help, and you have to like realize that so that you don't hurt yourself. You know?
Oh man. One day.
Yeah, one day. And guys told me like, "Oh, like I'm gonna do it by myself. Can someone just pick me up from the hospital?" I'm like, "What?" Like she stayed in the hospital with me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how are you just gonna have some Uber pick you up? They don't even allow that.
Yeah, see, I don't think that I'm that good to where I can fend for myself. I know I'm gonna need somebody
Right, right,
for
right,
sure. I get
right.
the cold, I'm down, so
Yeah,
I can imagine having surgery like a
yeah,
big
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I'm
And
not
it's
coming.
like you don't realize it's like almost your whole body. Like, right? For me, it was my arm. They took stuff from my leg. They took stuff from like the crease on my leg to get a vein out. Then the whole like genital area. It's like so much of your body that needs help. It's not just one little hand or something.
Oh, walking, I'm sure was hell for a while, huh?
Oh yeah, too. And then plus you have to get used to like the weight of the penis now. And because it's like only holding on by what feels like some stitches, I definitely babied it and would just like hold it, like I'm
I
just
would too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
just being like a little bit over a year, I still like in the shower, I like to just hold it because I don't like it to just hang. That's why I wear the underwear that I wear, SEPARATEC, because it has like the extra pouch for it. So it like kind of gives it more support and like it's like feels like it's like holding it like this.
bro, I use that underwear for packing.
Yeah,
I mean, it works. So
yeah, for sure.
that's good shit. No, I get that. I'd be scared. Well, I was scared. I had the nipple grafts, and anytime anything would brush up against it, I'd lift my shirt up. And I'd be
Make
like, "Is
sure
it
it's
still
still there.
there?" Yeah. So I can only imagine how you feel.
Yeah. But no, it's been good so far. I mean, I did have like some separation at, times, but it's normal. And I just put like Meta honey on it and it fixed it.
That's
It's a
cool.
lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've every other day I'm sitting there Googling and looking in Trans Bucket and all this other
Yeah.
stuff, trying to see different photos and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
surgeries and learning, but I'm scared of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely did that too. I went to YouTube and that's how I, watch people or whatever. So that's why I do it now because I want to be able to give that to other people. Because there was only like 3 people, 4 people who I saw who actually had the same surgery I did on YouTube, you know, and some didn't go in as depth as others did. So I was like, I'm just gonna full circle 100%. I'm gonna give you everything, that I went through. Um, so I hope it helps people.
I've not seen any that have had the actual shape of like the head on theirs yet.
Okay.
So I've been trying to look at videos for that because I know you get it and then you have to go back and have that done.
I had that in my first one. So
You did?
I'll send you my info. I'll send you all of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. So we have less than a minute left. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, James. If you have any quick little things to say before we go, you can go ahead. If not, thank you.
Man, I just appreciate the opportunity to do this. I
Yeah.
think you're doing awesome things for everybody out there. So
Thank
I'm
you.
thankful. Yeah,
I hope to chat with you soon. So again, thank you for joining, and I'll send you my links. And I look forward to talking to you again.
absolutely, man. Take care.
All right. Thank you, you too.
All right.